What's good? What's up? How y'all feeling? Don Vito, I'm up in the Boogie Down Bronx. I got my man Robert Holmes, a.a.a. Batman, Batcave Entertainment. Y'all know Batman, Harlem representative. You know, he done did a lot in the community, man, you know what I'm saying? I know the brother for a long time, so I had to interview him because it's only right because we can get into a lot of things that an average dude can't get into. What's up, bro?
What's good, B?
God dang.
King.
We come a long way, my nigga.
Oh, man. Sandbox.
Sandbox, man. Sandbox, man. So, you know, I want you to let the viewers know, how was it growing up in Harlem, man, as a young kid, man?
Oh, man. Grew up, you know, single parent, mom struggling, pops. You know, he wasn't in the picture, but regular, man. I mean, it was a tough struggle. Basketball was my outlet. Just like any kid, man, basketball was like the outlet, and that's how I survived.
So what age did you start playing ball?
I think I started playing ball when I was about 8, 9 years old. My mom's had been involved with this gentleman who was an ex-NBA player and who later became a drug addict. Crazy, right? But he was known in the hood as being like the street vendor. He was the early street vendor to this basketball street agent. I think that's what they call it now. And I started playing ball about 8, 9, man. And then once I got into grammar school, man, I played for the school over there, PS 28. And about 8 years old.
8 years old.
Yeah.
So, did you play any tournaments, like Harlem tournaments and stuff like that? Because back then, they had the Rucker, each one teach one tournament.
Citywide.
All that, yeah, citywide.
Yesteryear, yeah. I didn't get a chance to play any formal basketball until I got over there at Riverside Church. And, you know, how'd that go? We got biddies, midgets, juniors. And, I played up citywide, Holy Cone Rucker, each one teach one, boys of yesteryear, Millbank. But definitely that's when that's
145th Street? Played
yeah,
there?
Yeah, I played there when I got a little older, though. That was like
39th Street?
Right.
Yeah.
All the played all through that, 7th Avenue, 8th Avenue. I'm 45th, 55th.
That's when Harlem was Harlem, man.
Yeah, Harlem gone now.
That shit ain't like it was, man.
When we grew up, man, basketball and shit like that was our outlet.
Just getting money and playing ball.
Yeah, but you know what? Actually, what's so funny, I always tell people now, right, is that if you had a Riverside jacket or
Gauchos,
yeah, or any type of memorabilia from them, man, like that was pretty much the drugs back then, man. You get all the chicks because you play ball. You know,
and drug dealer niggas, they'd pay you, man. Play in the game tournament.
Paying the tournament, pay to get off the street. Yeah, you was their outlet. You know, they was the fake agents back then, right?
Yeah. So where you from in Harlem, though?
I'm originally from over by 150th and Broadway and Riverside. Then I moved over towards the east side over there. Excuse me, 122nd and Lexington. And but I'm Harlem all day.
Yeah. So you played ball, but did you ever get involved, like selling any drugs and anything like that? As far as coming up, you know, in Harlem was played basketball, niggas. So back then they had the weed in envelope shit with the seeds and all that shit. Remember the days like that?
You break it down with the record or whatever.
Right. You ever got caught up in that, or you just stayed with the basketball?
Nah, man. I was a basketball player, man, all the way till I was about 18, 19 years old. I had a brief stint in college, and once that dried up, then I moved on to selling drugs. But I was a late bloomer, I guess. Got caught up a couple of times in 1988, 89. Wound up doing a 2 to 4, and had no business even being there. But basketball was
2 to 4 for what?
Oh man, what is that? A predicate, I think they call it, or whatever, man. Sold some drugs or something, man, and got caught. Sold some drugs again, got caught. Didn't know nothing about the legal system. And before I knew it, I was up at Mohawk Correctional Facility doing a 2 to 4, man. 2 to 4.
Niggas say more. That shit
for like $10.
$10.
For like $10, bro. Man. Yeah.
So when did you get introduced to Riverside Church?
I gotta say, it had to have been in about the early 80s, man, 1980. I think I first went over there and played when I was about 12 years old. I went to the tryouts over there at Riverside. you know, back then Riverside was the talk of the town. You know, if you played for Riverside, man, you was the dude.
Oh, you got that jacket on.
Oh man,
Crazy.
You know, you could walk into a gymnasium with all the warm-ups and sneakers and bags, and you don't won the game before we even played. But it's funny because there was a gentleman that played on our team in grammar school, Stuart Barnett, and we had a championship game, man, where this dude hit 52 points. And my 2 points that I made in that game, dog, won the game. But this dude had 52 points.
But you won the game at the end.
But I won the game at the end. And Milton, that was the gentleman that my mom was seeing. He had been grooming me to play ball. He said this was going to be my outlet. This was going to be my ticket. And but he used to always warn me, man, I got this place I want you to play for, but I got to go over there with you, man, to make sure that you're good. And so Milton never got a chance to see that dream go through, man. But I went over there, tried out, and made the team. And that's first started playing Riverside, man.
So what position did you play?
I played two guard. I was always able to jump, man, and play good defense, man. I was a jumper.
Did they have a coach over there by the name of Coach Black?
Yeah, Honey Bun.
Light-skinned dude, his name was Coach Black, right?
Yeah,
I tried, I remember.
Yeah, actually, Coach Black. He actually, his wife was the principal for A. Philip Randolph. But he was their mainstay. That was one of Lorch's.
I remember him well, man.
Yeah.
You know, downstairs in the basement, man.
That's right, the dungeon.
Yeah, and they just have mad dudes to try out too, man. You know what I'm saying? And I remember he run like he had units of people playing against each other. Then once y'all scrimmage, y'all three stay, y'all go. He was strict with that shit.
No, you get to talk.
Yeah.
That's the talk.
Yeah.
That's the talk, right? Thank you for coming out.
Yeah.
Have a good day. Russell Simmons about to get that him, bro, because that nigga used to cut you, bro.
Yeah, man.
And that's it.
He was strict with that, man. That's probably why Riverside always had great teams, man, because they was tight with that selection.
Yeah, you had the best of the best up in there, man.
Yeah.
You had an A team and a B team.
There you go, yeah.
Right? You had your traveling team, and then you had your team that stayed there and played.
It's like the NBA right now, right?
Yeah, that was the NBA.
With the D-League
that was the
type
early
thing.
NBA.
Yeah.
You know, you got from that program, man, we got about 100, 200 kids that have actually went on overseas or some type of professional level.
Yeah.
We got about 40
Name us some of the few greats that came out of Riverside Church real quick.
Ron Artest, Kenny Anderson, Stackhouse,
Mark Jackson.
Sealy, Mark Jackson,
Chris
Kenny
Mullen.
Smith, Chris.
Yeah.
It goes on and on.
Yeah.
Malik, God bless Malik Sealy.
Yeah, exactly. That was my man too. Yeah, that was my man.
Yeah.
So anybody know about Riverside Church, man? A lot of dudes in the pros played for Riverside Church first, where Robert went to. You know. So what age did you meet Ernest Lorch?
You know, it's so funny, man. When I first got over there, right, I made the team and shit, right? But you never got a chance to see Lorch. Lorch had this like illusion or allure to him where you never got to see him. You hear about this great person that's doing all these great things, but you never get a chance to meet him. And so one night, right, we practicing, and see this white gentleman walk up in there, and I swear to you, bro, even to today that I think back, it was like he was the only thing in color. And everything was in black and white.
Right.
You know what I mean? Everything else was in black and white. So he walked in and whatever, and I still remember we was running this drill called double stack low. They that play ball. They know what double stack low is. And but I was the two guard that come off the pick, and I might have hit this shot about 5 straight times, man. And dude stopped the practice, and that was the first time that I ever met Lorch. And he said, anybody can make a jump shot, but can you make a shot when the pressure is on?
Like in the game or something.
Right, with no seconds on the clock and shit like that, man. And definitely that movie Hoosiers. That's Ernie. Anybody seen the movie Hoosiers or seen it? We've seen it.
Yeah.
That's who Ernie is. But that was the first time I ever met Ernie, man, and it was crazy.
So let me ask you a question. So that move that you be doing around the basket, man, that would make motherfuckers look crazy and shit. You know what I'm saying?
About the FCI shuffle?
Yeah, that shit was crazy. When did you learn that? You learned that when you was playing with Riverside?
Pretty much, but over at Riverside, you know, if you ever watched them play ball, it's like a disciplinarian. Like
they play
a
strict ball.
type of ball.
They play strict ball. You're right.
And a lot of those type moves you learn from the street. But I grew up emulating, Tip and Mike Thornton, and that's where I get that move from. Tip and Mike Thornton.
Right. Yeah, I remember them.
Right.
Tip played with Rucker too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gaucho.
Brother's Mike
Boogie.
Mike Boogie. Yeah.
That's right.
Okay. Yeah.
That's right.
So
you remember that move?
Yeah, I remember. He'd take him up to the top of the key and leave him.
So
they come out there, he'd be like this here and be doing all that. It's always a setup. So moving right along. So we got these news articles and stuff like that, you know, with the case with Ernest Lorch and stuff like that. So when did that first happen, man? Like, what happened? When did it first happen? Tell us about the beginning.
Well, as we all know, as you know, because you was there with me, we was in, actually, man, I mean, you know, we was in Fort Dix.
Yes, we was.
At the time when all this stuff was going on. I gave up some interviews with the Daily News, or actually they came to see me or whatever. But, yeah, that was in 2002 when those news articles hit the papers or whatever about him giving me $2 million in hush payments and stuff like that. Yeah.
And so you got the money and you, I'm gonna say what I know off the top of the head. You started the Gotham City movement, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much.
I figured that I would become this Robin Hood to my hood, you know. And I opened up an organization called Gotham City, which transformed into a recording label, some studios. We had some strip clubs, stuff like that. But the real cusp of what Gotham City was, it was a foundation where everybody from the community could come and get together and have one common ground where we could almost better ourselves in our community. Like, as you know, I built Gotham City with all of the people from in my hood.
Yeah.
The same people who had, who had went to jail and were getting paid 50 cents to do the same trade and same skills that people were getting thousands to do. So I got a bunch of guys who believed in my concept, believed in the dream, and we went in there, man, and bought a building. I bought a building, and we turned it into Gotham City. Yeah.
Name some of the artists that's known that was coming to your studios and stuff like that.
Oh man, God bless the dead. I gotta give a shout out. Black Rob, he was a mainstay. That was my guy. You know, later on we'll talk about some other things that I did with Rob. I got G-Dep. We got Sadat X. We got God bless the dead. Huddy Combs used to come through. We used to have the Jungle Brothers from back in the days.
The Jungle Brothers.
All Out. God bless the dead. Chip Banks I've worked with. Got songs with Eve, believe it or not. We did some things with her. I got some people. I still got a lot of songs that we haven't even released yet.
And you know, people was doing a lot of talking. You had a lot of whips back there too, Chad.
Yeah, I had a couple of toys.
Nice toys.
Yeah, pretty much. I remember we did the. I remember when when I first got locked up in the feds. I went in, man, and I saw did the video music box, and like I told Ralph, man, if I'd have known we were coming, I was about a quarter of a century deep then. So I had about 30 nice pieces.
Yeah.
Some real nice pieces. Yeah.
So, when the abuse situation happened, when was like the first payment?
I was on the run, bro, and I was hiding out from a Jersey case that I had. The Fugitive Recovery Unit was looking for me, marshals. And I was sitting up one night, man, and to be honest with you, man, whether you believe it or not, my brother told me to go up there and go see Lorch. I had been speaking to my wife, or my ex-wife at the time, and explaining to her about how I had gotten abused, because up to that point I hadn't told nobody. But I was so desperate and had no money and just on the run. I was living in a crackhead house, bro. And one night I just said, yo, I'm gonna go up there and talk to Ernest Lorch, man, about what he did to me as a child, and really just ask him why.
Right.
I mean, I think that's really what it all started out to be, was to want to know why. Because I struggled for years about knowing, was I really good enough to play professional basketball, or was I around Ernest and getting all these accolades with the basketball just because I was his little boy toy, at that time. So I struggled with that for a long time, But when I first went up there, Ernest, his first thing was to pay me, and I think he gave me, $25,000-$30,000 that night. And when we would go talk about it, I took $30,000 up to $3 million.
So did it happen to any other players that went to the church?
I mean, I can always have my assumptions. I never was privy to see anybody else get abused, but there was a saying that go around there called the Ernie Boys. And if you were part of Ernie's Boys, then everybody knew. It wasn't no real hidden secret. Everybody knew, That's why I always say everybody knew, but everybody wanted to be a Riverside Hawk.
Right.
And if you were one of Ernie's Boys, man, you were always taken care of. But there's guys in the NBA right now I know for a fact that have went through the same things that I have. But, when you get to the NBA and you got all your money and you're doing all these things, that's career assassin. You know what I mean? So no one would talk about it. But yeah, there were a bunch of us all around there. Everybody knows what Ernie Boys is. In the book you'll read, I give some innuendos to that as to who these guys are.
I want to touch on something. So when the article came out, right? And with the abuse and all that type of stuff, wasn't like other guys like piggybacking off of you, trying to get money? Like coming out like, he came at me also? Or am I wrong?
No, you're right, but I'm careful not to judge those type people.
Yeah. Not a judge thing, but it was like
or to
people
even
just start coming out.
To even try to even guess if they were real or not. If you're asking me, did other people come out and was I try to be able to have other people come out? Right. Yeah, I was the vehicle, I was the tool for that.
That's what I'm talking about, right.
But I try, because I've been through this, so I try not to judge. When I say judge, not why you right or wrong for coming out, but to try to assume if they're telling the truth or not, because God forbid, you got somebody who was abused, and we sit here a million times and denying him of that. I think that does a disservice to the overall scheme of what actually happened. I think that it deserves an investigation. They got tools that will determine if you did or did not. But me, myself, this is a part of healing for me. For me to speak about it, or even back when we were incarcerated and I came out with it, man, we were in a place where you just don't even talk about shit like that.
Yeah.
And I also want to say, I don't know if I ever told you that, but you went through all of that with me. You were there the first day that you came to my unit, to my cell, bro, and told me, yo, look, the article is out.
Yeah.
And you told me, you said, yo, man, I'm with you. We got to leave this jail, nigga. If I got to, we you know what I mean? And that's how we wrote it out. But I look at it as a healing process to be able to come out, but I also look at it as something that could help someone else who is struggling with it. An informational tool.
Right.
And that's what my book is about. That's what this interview is about. And that's what my voice is about. I think that sometimes we have to sacrifice ourselves in order to help build other people's worth.
Right. So, me and you was in the feds together, right?
Yes, sir.
You had like 5 years?
No, I got
3?
I got 97 months.
97 months.
Which was 8 years and 1 month for felon of a possession of a firearm.
Right.
Right.
You want to touch on that real quick?
Why not? It's over with now. We did
it.
We did it. We did it.
Yeah, let's touch on that, because this is your story.
No
part of your story.
No question.
Yeah.
1998, I was a victim of a assassination attempt. I was in a hotel with a young lady who later on became a well-known rapper, which I'll leave.
Right. I know it is.
Right. Right. We spoke about this, and I was in the hotel room with my daughter. We were going to Cancun, Jamaica, and went around all night looking for a hotel, man. Good hotel. I usually stay in good hotels, and this night we couldn't get one. So I said, hey, I'm leaving in the morning on the trip. Let me go get one of these hotels. So I went one of these little seedy little joints just for about 4 hours just to get some rest, shelter. Get a knock at the door, man, and somebody put a 357 up to my chin and blew me from here all the way back.
Wow.
Wound up surviving that, made myself to the hospital or whatever, and you know, it's like any other normal kid.
But do you know what it is, or was it just like an element of surprise?
No, to this day, man, the shooting has remained unsolved. I've got my theories. Police have theories. Streets have theories. You know, but like I said, we've been incarcerated, so we don't really operate on theories.
Exactly. So, a shotgun to the
No, 357 Magnum up to the
Magnum.
mandible, out to that in front of my little daughter.
Wow.
Yep.
No, you blessed, man.
Yeah.
No, the average dude would have been gone, man.
Yeah.
You know? So if you ain't never believed in God, but I know you started believing then.
Yes, sir.
You know, but that's the reason why you're here.
Yeah, man.
That ain't no joke, man.
That was crazy.
So how you get to the hospital?
I drove myself to the hospital. I was in the car with my daughter and the young lady that I was with. I don't know. I think it was just pure adrenaline, bro. I had a gaping hole out this side of my head. My jaw. My jaw was fractured. I lost a piece of my jaw. And then I got hit in the chest area when I flew back on the ground or whatever. So I don't know how I made it, man.
What you mean you got hit in the chest area?
After I got shot, it blew me. The kick of it was so heavy that it knocked me all the way back, and then they shot again, I guess, from on the ground or ricochet or whatever it was, man. It just lodged into my chest. But I drove myself that day to the hospital and fell out right in the emergency room. Fell out right there and woke up on New Year's Eve with the ball dropping.
Wow.
Yeah, some real shit.
Did you lose a lot of weight? I mean, how did it affect you once you got shot?
Believe it or not, man, getting shot, it didn't hurt. You know, that sounds crazy or whatever, right? Two things that really hurt to me was the rehab of learning how to talk again, learning how to swallow again, and those type of things. But the real big thing was mentally. It was tough on me. It took about 2 or 3 years before I could actually just be me again. And then I was dealing with a lot of things with the abuse thing that I suppressed. But mental, just being confident to be able to be yourself again, bro. It was a time where I couldn't even hear a loud noise without going to a door, without thinking that they coming to get me.
Right.
And not knowing who's coming to get me, you know what I mean? Then I was stuck on this high horse where dude shot me one day. I'll check out the hospital and go out and buy 7 more cars.
Right.
And ride around with bullet holes in it, waiting for you to come do it again. Like, it just almost made you have this false sense of bravado, man. So it's the mental on that was real tough on me.
So check it out. So you got shot.
Right.
Ran to the hospital, rehab, and then the bid came afterwards.
A little bit after that, man. Once I got out, you know, I didn't know who shot me. Lorch's name had came up, or getting some people to do some things to me, and I didn't think that, because immediately after Lorch came to see me in the hospital and came there with $1 million cash, and just asked me to just leave right now.
What that look like, man?
It looks like 10 certified checks with bank markers on it saying,
you know what I'm
you
saying?
can go right now and just kill that right now if you want. And we had, and then the second payment was going to be once I get to where I was going, because I had told him, he said, what do you need to leave right now? And I said, and I had my wire, and I just said $2 million. This came the first day. He said, I have $1 million to you tomorrow. And then you come back after that, you go down. And that's what, remember I got this tattoo.
Right.
And that's how the house was being made. And, you know, I was going to open up a radio station. I had bought some property in Hawaii. And we were going to do this Ed Lover, Dr. Dre thing. And I never made it out there because I still was riding around with a daggone gun. And got caught in the hotel with a gun that just went haywire.
But how did you get caught with the gun? It ain't like you was flashing it.
No, sir. No, sir, not at all. In fact, I really didn't even, gentleman that I had with me, artist in the industry or whatever, he was more infatuated with this gun than me. And he really got caught with the gun, but because all the things was in my name, the cars were in my name, they found the gun in the car that he had been driving. And my silly butt thought that I could beat the federal government. I had about $3 million, and I had a cash cow worth almost $900 million. And it still wasn't enough.
Right.
So I went and I took it to trial.
Mm.
And there's only 2 prongs. Are you a felon and was you in possession of a firearm?
Right.
And those things I was.
And you know you can't beat the feds.
No, sir. They gave me 97 months. What guy
For
does
trying
97 months for a fucking gun?
You could have copped out and probably got like 3 years or something.
Less than that. We know how the guidelines
Yeah,
go.
yeah, yeah, the
All
guidelines.
that,
Yeah.
I had some real heavy people behind me at the time in the industry, man. I just thought that I knew it all.
Man.
You know.
So you came to the feds. We met
Again.
It was like, yo, what the fuck? And then, I mean, you know, I'm gonna jump in real quick. If you ever been in the state and the feds is like a lot sweeter than the state at that time. You know what I'm saying? So we did time, but we worked in it, man. Let's talk about that. We was doing business plans. We was doing
everything that's happening now.
Right.
We had wrote it back then.
And conversed about on a daily.
Right.
Let's talk about
We
that.
didn't know what the timetable would be, or we thought the timetable would have been a lot sooner.
Mm-hmm.
But everything that we're doing, the things that you're doing, you know, your show,
Mm-hmm.
my book, the podcast show,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the reinventing of the label, me being associated with some good guys. I want to give a shout out real quick to my man, Umbrella Studios too. They definitely good people. They just actually came in and are helping me out on my book with the whole production.
Mm-hmm.
So again, cover charge, thank you so much. And you know, this is crazy.
But you got you let me hear a lot of good tracks
Yes.
from back in the days that nobody heard.
Yeah.
So what you doing with that, man?
We got about 130 songs that.
You got some heat, man.
We
You
got
got some
about
heat.
130,
Yeah.
in 98, 99. Of, like I said, artists that aren't here, artists that later went on and became platinum artists.
Mm-hmm.
Like again, we had some very good producers, man. We were out in California. I bought the mansion out in California, so we did the majority of our recording out in LA. We had
Mhm.
some good DeMarc Sparks, Dane Grease.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of good producers. But we got some stuff, and we got some stuff now. That's crazy.
Right. So we home.
Right.
Now you going to work.
Right.
You got everything in motion. The wheels is turning. So what's going on now that the viewers need to know? What is Batman doing right now? What type of movement you got going on?
Well, we have a little foundation that caters to A.A.U. or athletes in general, doesn't matter male or female, which is in development, to help them cope with abuse
Mm-hmm.
and other problems that they may have growing up. We also got I have a book coming out entitled The Darkside Of The Court.
Mm-hmm.
We also have a little podcast situation that we have now, which is going to be called The Road Back to Gotham City,
Mm-hmm.
in which it explains to you about how everything is going to get back into the same position that it was.
Mm-hmm.
I think I just completed a screenplay,
Mm-hmm.
which is in development with Lee Daniels' camp right now. I have a young lady who was actually spearheading the whole campaign named Wendy Day. You know
Right.
Wendy.
Yes.
Wendy kept us
Yes.
abreast the whole time we were up in there. And right now, man, I'm just fighting for the abuse. As you know, we got the Child Victims Act. I was a big proponent on that. People are able to go in now and go sue their abusers that may have happened 20, 30 years
Yeah,
ago.
they opened it back up.
Right.
Yeah.
It's actually the Robert Holmes law. It started off as that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know that.
I ain't until what I'm hearing now on the news and shit like that.
Right.
You was like, you know what I'm saying? You steamroll that, man.
Yes, I did. I've walked up to Albany every
Yes,
day.
you did. Yes, you did.
And stood up there with Como and all of them until he signed that Victims Act. Now we got about 35 dudes on board with just Riverside by itself.
That's big, man.
You know, we got the lawsuit right now against Riverside Church. I got some heavy hitters on there, Michael Dowd and them guys, and just waiting for an outcome right now. But like I always say, man, everybody knew it was wrong, but
Right.
everybody wanted to be a Riverside Hawk.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone would just turn their eyes away from it.
Right. So question, so if there was a little kid, basketball, I'm gonna use basketball because that's what you know, that had that type of problem and needed some advice from you, what would you tell him?
that it's okay to share the story with someone. It's okay to understand that you weren't the person who was wrong here. A lot of times we, as being abused, carry this stigma on us, like we wanted it to happen or we caused it to happen. No, we were too young to even make a decision on our own, let alone just the fact that, you know, this is not what we do to our youth. But I would tell him, man, that it's okay to share it with someone.
Right.
And that you're not at fault. Because that's what we suffer from.
Right. One last thing. So, once you get Batcave Entertainment, correct?
Yeah.
Once you get it back rolling and stuff like that, are you planning on hitting the music, the streaming and all that type of stuff, or what are you doing with it?
Yeah, but I think
movie.
Batcave has evolved a little bit more
Bigger.
out of the streets thing right now. Like
Right.
we've just got secured 2 situations where we're currently putting soundtracks to movies right now. Right now, I just was fortunate enough to attach on to a gentleman cover, in which right now we making beats for people, artists out here now. Right now, I think that my gift to the game right now is just the sound part.
Right.
Again, like I said, I want to give a shout out to Umbrella Studios.
Right.
That's
where we at right now.
That's
It's
what
a
we
nice
at
place,
right
man.
now.
I like it. Right up in the hood. You know, the sound quality is great. Yeah, I know. So I used to live around here.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, down the block.
Good question.
For a minute, because it's nighttime. So I wasn't thinking. Oh, I used to live right here, man.
No question.
Back in the days when I was, doing the 1s and 2s and all that, stuff like that, But I got a little gripe with you, man.
Talk to me.
A little gripe.
I didn't know it.
So me and this dude, man, we gonna have a little good time right now. 'Cause we used to in the feds, right? And I used to be chilling and all that, working out and all that. And
Let me tell it. So listen, right? There's a saying that I carry around. I tell everybody, I just tell everybody, you got to get what you like or like what you get. So for those of y'all who don't understand that, right? So me and this dude did about 60, 70 months together, man, right? Every single day, man, we go to commissary, we get everything that we want. We buy cases of popcorn, right? It just sounds crazy. I would eat up my popcorn, man, in a matter of days. And every day I would walk down that pound, call my man outside the window, and ask him for a bag of popcorn. So this nigga would come downstairs and say, yo, dog, I'll give you 100 max. I'll give you food. I'll give you anything else. But, dog, man, when you come down to a nigga and ask him for his personal shit that when he lock in, and it stuck with me, man. Get what you like and like what you get.
That's right. Nigga, you want some popcorn, buy some motherfucking popcorn.
Or buy more.
Buy more. Now you bought some buy more.
Man,
he used to get tight, but I had to give it to him because he's my man. But I used to be like, come on, man. Nigga like that motherfucking popcorn at nighttime. That was our shit, right?
No bullshit. You say, I'll give you 100 max.
I'll give you anything else. I can't give you no popcorn.
No
man.
More. I love you, man.
That was some funny shit, man.
You walk that walk with me, big boy.
No doubt.
We walked the walk with you.
Yeah,
we walked that walk with me, man.
Yeah, without a doubt, man. We grew up, man, together, man. So I ain't front on the street. I ain't gonna, in there, man, we stick together, man. Cause we might as well touch on that. Cause there's a few dudes who's acting a little funny style.
What, when we was inside?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
it was a couple of them.
Yeah, And when I heard your name ring, I said, nah, who?
You came up to the unit.
Yeah.
And you was like, yo,
y'all ain't doing nothing, man.
A couple of dudes, man, but that was.
I ain't
even going.
Yeah, because them dudes is into, they're jumping motherfuckers.
What it is, man, them niggas is doing 80 years. Nigga, I'm going home.
It's like that too, hating shit like that.
Get the real shit, man.
Yeah, but we had to get rid of that problem. You know what I'm saying? But I feel good. I interviewed my man, because not only does he have a great story, and not only is he a smart ass dude, one of the smartest dudes I know, and I'm not even gonna say that shit because he's my man. If you want some work done, far as with music, far as writing shit, whatever, far as fucking business plans, far as whatever, man, this dude here is smart. He's a very smart guy, man. And
I'm gonna put it back together.
I know you're gonna put it back together. I'm trying to tell the viewers, man, that don't know. You know, that Robert Holmes, man, you know, he's a successful dude, and he gonna bring everything back to where it's supposed to be, and that's why I had to interview him, because I'm the only one I could really get into him, because I know him, man. You know, even though I have to show Surviving Ernest Lorch.
Yeah, because I really don't even share all that, but you my guy,
Yeah, that's
and
right.
I'm giving you that.
Exactly.
I'm giving you that.
That's right. That's right. And I appreciate it, man. You know, to share this moment with you, from the streets to the prison, back to the streets.
That's
We
right.
still here.
We still here.
My brother.
Thank you, boss.
Appreciate you, man. Thank y'all for tuning to the Vibe with Don Vito show. And my brother right here, support him 100%. And you know, have a good night. Peace.